When it comes right down to it, almost nobody really likes Beto O'Rourke. He's been stuck below 5% in the polls for months. That says something very good about America, by the way. But during last week's debate, in a desperate last-chance bid for relevance, Beto decided to drop the pretense on guns. He's not for passing common-sense gun reform. No. He's for sending cops to your house to seize your firearms.
Are you proposing taking away their guns, and how would this work?
I am. If it's a weapon that was designed to kill people on a battlefield, hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15, your AK-47.
Well, people were shocked, but within a year or two, mark our words, Beto's position will be mandatory for every Democrat running for office. Right now, though, Senator Chris Coons of Delaware is worried that statements like that could hurt the Democrats going forward.
I frankly think that that clip will be played for years at Second Amendment rallies with organizations that try to scare people by saying Democrats are coming for your guns.
Imagine that. Scaring people by showing them what Democrats have promised to do. Jason Nichols is a professor of African American Studies at the University of Maryland, and he joins us tonight. Professor, thanks a lot for coming on.
Thank you.
So I wonder if you know, it's not just, by the way, Beto. There's a bunch of other candidates have said that they're for this, for mandatory buybacks, gun seizures. What would that look like? And I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking, well, there are a lot of guns in poor neighborhoods, both bad people, but primarily good people, law-abiding people, who use them to protect themselves. And a lot of those guns would be banned under the Beto scheme or the Elizabeth Warren scheme or the Kamala Harris scheme. And that would mean that armed agents are going to be going to the west side of Chicago or the east side of Detroit. They're going into African-American neighborhoods in Baltimore, door to door, taking people's guns.
Yeah.
How's that going to work?
Well, first of all, I think, I do have respect for Beto. I think that Beto was a man who he didn't spin in the spin room, which I respect. I think he actually was somebody who said what it is that he's going to do.
I agree with that.
I just disagree with what it is that he intends to do. I think, number one, when we look at it, in particular with gun violence and deaths that are related to gun violence, most of it comes from handguns, not from AR-15s. Actually, 64% of fatalities that come from gun violence come from handguns, not from your AR-15 or your AK-47.
But you're absolutely right, and thank you for pointing that out, because it's you know the numbers. Most people don't. However, the gun ban that he has endorsed and that a lot of other candidates have endorsed would also include an awful lot of handguns. Any handgun with a magazine over 10 rounds would be confiscated. Right.
Well, I'm for, limiting the capacity of a magazine. I think there are lots of, gun reforms that we can have. You can be pro-gun and pro-gun control. I don't think those two things.
But in the end, if you're saying so, but here's the distinction that I think is new. Clinton banned the sale of so-called assault rifles for 10 years. But nobody has proposed going into people's homes and grabbing them. So what you're going to have is law enforcement that everyone on the left is calling racist going into black neighborhoods and taking people's guns away. So tell me, what does that look like to you?
Yeah, that's obviously something I'm not for. I think one of the things we need to work on, if you want to work on something that's going to benefit America, I would say get rid of voter ID. Get rid of ways that are keeping people from having rights. Don't take their guns away. But what does it make
you think about Beto or Elizabeth Warren or Kamala Harris that they are endorsing a plan that would disproportionately mean taking federal agents in black neighborhoods and taking people's guns away?
Well,
what the hell?
Again, I think Beto is somebody who right now is emotionally hurt, to be honest, by what occurred in his city. And I understand that, and I think that he is reacting off of emotion. I think that Chris Coons...
Wait. He's an adult man, though, right?
Sure.
Running for president. So, he's thought this through, I would assume, or do you think he's just a total captive? He's, emotionally incontinent.
No, I don't think he's emotionally incontinent. I do think that he was emotionally affected, just like many Americans have been emotionally affected by a lot of the mass shootings. I think he should look at the numbers and see, what's going on and think this through a little more than he has. And I think Chris Coons is right that if we want to win states that we can win, like Texas and Georgia and Florida and Pennsylvania, we can't talk about taking people's guns away.
You can't tell voters what you really think. I totally agree. You got to keep lying to them. Don't be honest. Professor, thank you.
Thanks a lot.